or welcome back to my channel, and today is a 2024 reading journal setup. I am so excited to show this. I was so excited to put it together, and I haven't actually done a journaling spread in years now. Don't go looking for those, they're not amazing. I don't bullet journal anymore, so this is kind of the only, how do I put this? Well, the only type of journaling I do now, but it's the only thing I do that's more along the bullet journaling train. It's the only thing I do that's more along that line. Anyway, I am so excited for this one. It is in the same notebook as it has been for a couple of years now, mostly because I still have room for it. So it's just kind of that last third of my Tasuki notebook therapy journal, along with some new washi tapes, also from notebook therapy of the Our Stories. And I think that's pretty much it for this intro. Super quick, because that's pretty much all this is the reading journal. I will see you guys in a minute in voiceover. So my setup is in the Tasuki notebook therapy notebook A5 with the fawn on the front. I've been using this one since 2023, and this is year 3 in this notebook. I started off with the 2025 cover page. I still wanted to keep it consistent with the rest of the notebook, but also keep it its own because it is for a new year. It took me forever to finally land on this piece of scrap paper for the background of the cover, and I love how this turned out. I do like that this is a bit different and that it kind of fits the Our Stories theme, which is the washi tape I'm also using. I'm also like going through several of these little scraps to see which one I like as a title. I think I went okay. I love the little luggage tag look. And just, I don't know how I feel about putting it off to the side like I did, but it is what it is. It's there. It's gonna have to work. Here's where I start pulling out the washi tape from Our Stories from Notebook Therapy. I used their light academia last year and really didn't want to go that direction again, but still have a similar kind of vibe. And I liked the washi tape set, so this is one I went with. It still kind of feels a little bit more cohesive with last year's, but it's still its own theme, which is something I kind of liked about using the same company, but a different washi tape set. I also brought out some of my older stickers that I have just to add some flair and tie it again to the rest of the journal. This specific washi tape, I don't actually remember who it's from. I know I got it off of Amazon a while ago, but it sort of matches last year's cover page, so I used it again. On to the next page. This is my bookshelf, and I can't draw a circle to save my life, as is evident by this. I actually did a window with the sun in it last year for the Light Academia, but I decided to do something a little different. Cassandra Lynn here on YouTube kind of inadvertently inspired the whale in the window because she did a ship in hers. So I'm like, well, why not do a whale and just have some fun with this? So I did. The first 7 books at the top here are actually my key, so they'll actually be the only books filled in when this is finished. So it's going to look very empty at first because it's going to be filled in throughout the year. The bookshelves actually hold 100 books. Actually, the last 2 on the bottom give it an even 100. I don't think I'm going to read 100 books, but I did want this to be a 2-page spread, and I wanted some more room because last year's bookshelf just felt super squished. Like I could not for the life of me fit titles into these books. So I wanted to do something bigger and make the books bigger, the spines bigger, so I could fully write in a longer book title because I just couldn't fit them last year in my 1 page. And I had 60 in my last one. So it may be a little bit of overkill, but I still absolutely loved how this turned out in the end. So And the little box I just drew in is supposed to be a hydrophone, just to add, I guess, to the underwater lab feel. Well, underwater library. I did add some things to the shelf like mushrooms. I absolutely love mushrooms, and the jellyfish lamp that is actually inspired by an actual lamp I have on my desk and a plant. I was going to do this in colored pencil initially, but I haven't used my felt tips in so long. I just decided to try that out and use them, and I'm glad I did. I mean, it's not the best job, but it works for the purposes I needed. I really wanted to do color pencil for the window, but also decided against it, as you will probably see later. This spread does take me a little while to actually ink in and finish because there is so much to it, but it is so satisfying to look at, even though it's not even filled in yet. I also had to pull out the Crayola Super Tips to get kind of the blue I wanted for the ocean. My mild liners just are not dark enough. And then I realized I may have made that initial outline too dark because the felt tip pen I pulled out was around the same color for the whale, and I didn't want it to hide in the water. So I actually used two different Crayola Super Tips to get the water, and it's much brighter around the whale so you can actually see it, and then it darkens, trying to create this blended ombre that I don't know if this worked very well, but how it turns out, I don't actually mind. And then pulling out the white jelly roll for some extra bubbles. You can't have an ocean without bubbles. Here's where I kind of begin to set up that key. I don't think I like the color scheme too much that I chose, but I think most of my issue is the blue I chose was a little bit darker than I originally thought it was going to be. But I also didn't want to use that light brown again because I'd used it for the bookshelves and didn't want to have it all blend in. So I think the blue's just a little darker than I wanted it to be, especially with like the light pink and the pastel purple. But it's not bad. It's not the worst thing, I don't think. And then just a few more touches, just making sure the pencil lines are gone and filling in some extra spots that I may have missed with the liner at first. And that is my bookshelf for 2025. This next spread is my reading goals. Really, I just did a little washi tape header, and then, you can see the boxes in pencil with my 50 book goal, because this year's was 30 and I still have not gone past 42. But that's way more than I originally intended to read. Again, me fighting kind of with the labels for the title page. I could not find anything I liked. So I pulled out a scrap of tea-stained paper, that I forgot I had in with the rest of my scrap pages. This was the best option I could find that I could control the size of the paper to use in my headings, and it still matched and was cohesive with the last year, because I used this a lot in 2024. I don't want to use it as much this year in the corners, just because I don't want to have to make more, especially since the tea I used to create this tea stained paper was from the dollar store, and the tea I have now is very much not that. But in this instant it worked, and it also ended up working better to keep the pages a little more cohesive by using more than just the washi tape. Here I'm just inking in my 50 boxes. I did change the position of the last 2 because I thought, what if I get to add a couple more to this goal? And considering December has been questionable when it comes to my reading habits, I don't think I'm going to be moving away from the 50. And yes, I'm also very aware that the boxes spacing goes a little wonky here. It was like that penciled in, and I didn't catch it until I was inking it in. And by that point, it was like, well, this is what it looks like now. So, at some point, there's just nothing you can do about it, and just kind of gotta go with it. And sometimes it's just better to do it that way, just for your mental health. It's not gonna look perfect, and that's okay. But it's still functioning for what I need it to function for as I go in with my whiteout to get rid of some of those extra lines. I didn't do anything too crazy with the numbers, just tried to make them look kind of different from my normal handwriting. The problem is the ones look like 7s, so oh well, I know what it means, which is kind of the point anyway. This next spread is actually super new to me. I've never done this one before. This is a books bought page, also an inspiration from Cassandra Lynn. Really, it's just to keep track, of the books that I bought in 2025, because I did a lot of book buying in 2024 and not a lot of book borrowing. Well, actually, not completely true, because through Libby, I borrowed a lot of books. But I also want to keep track of the books I buy. My husband suggested I also keep track of how much these books cost, because I spent a lot on books, I'm sure. But this is just very simple. This is more in the vein of Joshi Corinne with her original bullet journal setup from 2023, where it's just every other line is highlighted. I did miss a couple of lines, so it does look a little wonky this first time around, but I'm willing to ignore that for the sake of my sanity. Also, just adding a couple more stickers that came with the washi tape sheet. These are just super cute, and it helps to match everything. And again, keep things cohesive. Next spread, again, is just that simple little list. It's my fiction TBR. I do kind of keep my fiction and nonfiction apart just so it's not so overwhelming, because I have a few nonfiction and a few fictions, and it's just trying to keep up with all of that in one list to me becomes it's just overwhelming, and it looks like a lot. So to kind of help combat that feeling of it's too much, I separate the 2 TBRs. And again, it's super simple. It's just highlighting every other line to make a list. And this works for me, and it keeps a list of books that I haven't read yet on my bookshelf that need to be read. And the problem is I haven't really stuck to this TBR, but some of these books are getting read. Moving on to the next tracker, I am keeping a series tracker again. I didn't actually add this one last year until kind of last minute, because I didn't know if I was actually reading any series. And I ended up reading, I think, at least 2. I know I started a couple duologies. One of them I started recently, which was Winter Song. And the other one I started, last year and still haven't finished. But I decided to kind of keep up with this series tracker because I am starting some new series this year. I do plan to start the Stormlight Archives and hopefully Once Upon a Broken Heart. Also, Emily Wilde's 3rd book comes out this February, which I'm so excited for. And I'm keeping it super simple with just the names of the titles. The names of the series, and then a couple of boxes to represent each book from that series. I also decided to go ahead and color in the books of these series I have already read. And on to the next page. This is just my nonfiction TBR and the list of books I decided to DNF. I don't know why the DNF section is a full page. I don't DNF books that often, but it's also nice to kind of have just in case I do end up DNFing anything. And again, both of these spreads are literally pretty much the same thing as the last two. They're a washi tape heading. I think I got this book washi tape from Hobby Lobby. I don't know how long ago. It's not part of the washi tape set, but I thought it fit the rest of the theme in this specific journal. Again, just highlighting every other line just to give it something that's not just a blank page. It makes me excited to fill it out. And DNF is pretty much the same thing. Washi tape, stickers, and header. I really just like this format. It's nice and simple and easy to fill out without being too terribly complicated. Sorry for the finger tapping. That's just me thinking, what do I want to do with this spread? And sorry, I've fought with this washi tape a lot trying to get it straight on the edge of the page. But it's pretty much the same. It's the washi tape header with the tea stain paper for the title, and then just my mild liners. They're really simple, and I just kind of prefer it that way, making listing them so much easier. Now on to the final spread of this setup, and that's the Reads in 2025. This one for me, again, is just another list with the washi tape header, but takes up 2 pages instead of 1. I did this this year for 2024, and it's so satisfying when it starts to get filled out, even as a list. I know a lot of people use book covers, and that's fine, but I don't have the means to do that. So I just do the list, and to me, writing down all of those titles and having this one filled out, even in a list form, is super satisfying by the end of the year. I did make one change to the spread from 2024, because for 2024, it's literally just the date I finished it, the title of the book, and the rating. And it kind of felt a little wrong to put the title and the rating, but I never put the author on this page. I mean, yeah, it's on the review pages, but it's also just kind of nice to have it with the book, especially when I had plenty of room to put it into this spread. So I added that to this list, and I like how this one turned out. It's a little different from 2024, but it still has that simplicity, which is nice. And here is the flip through of my 2025 reading journal spreads. I'm so excited to see this filled out. I'm so excited for 2025, and I hope you guys don't mind my first attempt at a voiceover for these type of videos. I actually did Plan With Me's on my old YouTube channel, and I never did a voiceover, so this is new for me. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the outro. And that is this year's reading journal, and I am so excited about it. I'm excited to fill it in. I know it's like very simple, but that's kind of how I like my reading journal. It's simple and easy to fill out and put together. It's super simple, super easy. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know. Like, subscribe, and if you have any tips maybe, or just enjoyed the video, please let me know in the comments below. That's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.